Welcome. This is take one of FPL Maestro's Game Week in Review video that I volunteered for, so I am sorry to all 5 of the individuals watching this. Normally we're going to start things off with a previous Game Week review, pretty standard stuff. We'll go over how results went, we'll go over what idiotic yellow card Diego Costa got, fuckhead. But this was an international break, so like most of you, I have been asleep for the last 2 weeks. When it comes to international breaks, I literally pay zero attention to things. England is always atrocious because they seem to have the individual, not collective mentality for the national team. Obviously, I love all of the England players, but they just cannot pull their heads out of their ass for fucking international games. Briefly, I would like to talk about how funny it was when Wayne Rooney got megged by the guy who's not even a professional soccer player. I don't believe that Wayne Rooney deserves all of the terrible booing by the fans and the criticism. I understand it, but I do think of a player of the legacy he's going to leave behind. It's a little harsh, but I thought that was hilarious when I saw the video of it. And in a close second to that, Henderson doing a no-look back pass simply to a defender. Why? What are you doing there? Just turn and make the pass. A no-look pass in, Ronaldinho's world is, he's disguising something. He's making it look like he's going another way so he can actually, play an attacking pass. But playing a back pass? To all the Liverpool fans out there, Henderson is not good. He's a decent player, but don't you dare for a second think that he will ever reach the height of Paul Scholes, Frankie Lampard, and your very own Steven Gerrard. He's just kind of runs around pointlessly. And in the same way of Coutinho, he's relevant 1 every 5 game weeks. If you have Coutinho in your team and you're willing to just wait on his get the ball outside of the 18, cut it to the right, and put a top corner bender in there, that's fine. But remember, you're sitting there with 2 points for the other 4 game weeks waiting for him to score that 1 goal. On the injury note, we seem to have escaped okay. Usually that's a big panic for myself and most fantasy managers for this. Lukaku, I know he had a bit of a knock, but it seems like he'll be okay. Aguero missed a penalty, but he's fucking Aguero. He misses a penalty, he still ends up scoring a hat trick the same game. Just for your information, the sites I really follow when I want to look at injuries is Ben Dinnery. He's someone who I follow on Twitter, and his website, Prem Injuries, is the best website for monitoring how a player is doing. And if you could tweet Ben directly, he will tell you if he expects a player to be available or starting the next week, whatever it may be. Can you guys read this, or is this backwards? I don't know. This whole video is hosted by FPL Maestro. I'm Brian Bowen. My Twitter handle, if you want to unfollow me, is simply Brian Bowen, BryanBowen. Nothing crazy there. So I have not made my transfer yet. I was really trying to have 2 transfers available, knowing that nagging injuries always come up during these stupid fucking international breaks. My team at the moment, please laugh, because it's terrible. I've already wildcarded, and at that point I had a pretty good team. But my team at the moment is Cech in goal. I've got Valencia and Shaw. I'm working on getting them out. That has been a nagging thing, but never the most pressing, unfortunately. And then Kingsley is my 3rd defender. Capu, Alexis Sanchez, Cazorla, and Leroy Fer are my midfield 4. And then my attacking 3 is Lukaku, Aguero, and Ibrahimovic. So it's very top-heavy. Thinking about rechanging my team name to 36 Double D. My whole team needs a shuffling at the moment because it is just absolutely fucked. So if any of you have ever considered talking about Fantasy Premier League or giving advice or any of that, just remember there's a guy who's making videos who has the worst team at the moment in the world and is being recorded to talk about his team. My current world rank is top 200,000. That was top 135,000 last week until I dropped 70 plus thousand spots because of all of the terribleness that happened last week. I will be captaining Aguero, most likely. Sanchez is my other person, but that I was considering. But one thing I weigh pretty heavily when selecting my captain, especially after an international break, is their commute back to the country they play in. So I guess they're both South American, so this is kind of null and void at that point. But Sanchez and Aguero both are playing in South America for their friendlies and everything, and then have to fly all the way back to England at some point. So you never know how jet lag is going to work. We'll have to double check, but I think the international break is officially over and everyone is returning. So hopefully they will all be good to go. Nonetheless, with that said, Man City and Arsenal both play at the same time on Saturday, so take your pick, whoever you like fixture-wise. Obviously, Swansea has a brand new manager. As an American, I would like to congratulate Bob Bradley on being the first American to manage in the Premier League, but in no way, shape, or form do I think he's going to last this season. He wasn't spectacular for the U.S. when he was the national team coach. He didn't last at Egypt very long, and unless he's a miracle worker when he's at a club team with, actually working with players every day, Swansea's still shit. Sorry, FPL Holly. It's going to be a rough season. A top 10 finish would be successful for them. Fixtures I really like: Arsenal against Swansea. Swansea's still technically in turmoil, and I don't think that Bob Bradley is going to be tactically aware enough to be able to stop Arsenal in their current form and at home at the Emirates, where all of their tourist fans that show up for one game and they're never there again have the worst atmosphere. I say this as a genuine Arsenal fan. I know you can't exactly see it, but Arsenal is at the top, and I do own more Arsenal scarves than anything else. The rest were gifts or my girlfriend's, who is a better soccer player and FPL manager than I am. The other fixture I like is, of course, City-Everton. I like that a lot for attacking points on both sides. Man City has been shit at defending all year, and Everton, I just don't think are going to be able to hold off Man City. We all know that Pep's team is running on all 6 or 8 cylinders, however big the engine is. KDB, I know he's not 100% healthy yet, but he will be going back into my team the minute he's 90 minutes fit. He just makes that team tick like a well-oiled machine. I would be a little hesitant for West Brom Spurs because West Brom is at home. Crystal Palace West Ham seems like a decent fixture, but flip a coin who you think is going to win or if it's going to be a draw. Chelsea-Leicester, I think, is just going to be disappointing all the way around. Chelsea's form has been absolute shit. Diego Costa is a yellow card away from a suspension. Leicester hasn't been the team they were. Clearly, Conte is the real MVP of that fucking team. Bournemouth Hull, snooze fest with all the other 7 a.m. here in the West Coast in the United States games. No one's going to watch that. Monday Night Football. We love that. I will not really call it football. I'll call it soccer because I'm an American. I think Liverpool can take this one because Liverpool seems to just be the world beater right now. And United has not been great unless they just wake up from this funk. Magically, if this international break them has just helped them reset everything, they are... I think Liverpool's going to take it. United doesn't have the speed in the midfield or the ability to hold the ball well enough, so it's just going to fall apart for them. This is the first video for this kind of segment piece we're doing, so I do apologize that the lighting's terrible. We're literally just in my apartment. I guess that's pretty much it. Like I said, normally we'll do a game week in review, but international breaks should be taken away from the game completely. I am more than happy to take any questions or any insults, or if you simply want to look at my team in order to make yourself feel better about yourself, that's completely fine. Once again, you can tweet at me at Brian Bowen, and the team I gave you is just my personal team. Like I said, I haven't made my transfer yet. That will most likely be getting rid of either probably Shaw if he's still injured or if he's now out of favor because Blind has been playing well. Or Cazorla. I liked Cazorla for a while because he's still a penalty taker, and Arsenal does, of course, get a lot of penalties. But he's just playing too deep, and I can't be locking up that amount of money on a player who isn't one of kind of the front 3 or 4 players on a team. So, anyways, I hope this helps. I hope that you realize your life isn't so bad, especially as a Fantasy Premier League manager, and hope for green arrows for everyone. Have a good one.